I'm Natasha Hurst. I fled domestic violence a number of years ago and spent 10 months living in Refuge. I wanted to help to raise awareness about what life in Refuge is like. The piece of writing that I'm going to read out, I wrote whilst I was living in Refuge. I also took a series of photographs while I was in Refuge that were published in Wales Online. And in these images, I cut myself out. It also represents the impact that domestic violence had on me, and that it made me invisible. It cut me out of my own life. And the images represent very much how domestic violence made me feel. A place has opened up in Refuge. You need to be at the office in the next hour if you want to take it. I was terrified. Making the decision to leave my partner was the hardest thing I've ever done. Making the decision to go into Refuge comes a very close second. What is Refuge? What does it look like? What does it feel like, and what does it mean to be there? What happens to all of these women and their children when they step into the unknown? What was going to happen to me? As terrifying as it is to be in an abusive relationship, the anxiety associated with the uncertainty of leaving can be much worse. So there I was with 3 bags of belongings at the Refuge, thinking, it's not too late, I can go back. I felt the conflict of being afraid to do the right thing for myself and feeling confused about what the right thing actually was. That night came the realisation that I was so grateful for a bed after sofa hopping for a month. It was also the first night in too long that I had a sense of relief of being able to go to bed and feel safe, and to not worry about what might happen to me if I went to sleep. Nor did I have to worry about what might happen to me when I woke up again. Refuge took that burden from me. My support worker took on the bureaucratic burden of benefits and homelessness applications with me, and empowered me to take the necessary steps in disentangling my life from my ex's. It wasn't safe to keep my job, so I resigned. I dealt with banks, estate agents, and utilities companies. Life became stripped back and simplified. I had a safe place to live. My benefits paid my rent. I had no household bills to worry about. I was free to focus on my own needs. However, it constitutes a complex change in identity to find yourself homeless, in Refuge, unemployed, and on benefits. I felt public wrath and deep personal disappointment for the situation I found myself in, having to constantly remind myself that this is what the welfare system is here for. I needed help to get back on my feet again. I'm well educated, well travelled, and have achieved a lot in my life. And I felt that somehow I should have known better than to let this happen to me. I blamed myself for the actions of an abusive man, just as wider society still has the propensity to do. Refuge gave me the space and safety to grieve, and then to start putting the jigsaw puzzle of my life back together. For a long time I didn't know who I was. I was empty, floating in a black hole that had no future. I couldn't remember what I liked to eat, or cook, or watch on TV, or do for fun. I began to find pieces of myself in the strangest of places. I reconnected with family and friends, and will remain forever grateful for their support. I plugged myself back into life, one step at a time, in the safety of Refuge. My support worker has walked alongside me on this journey, so have numerous other women who have worked and lived with me in Refuge. I was able to talk about what happened to me, to analyse and understand it, and to learn that it wasn't my fault and I wasn't alone. Refuge provided an environment of solidarity and understanding. It gave me the strength to go to the police to report the abuse. It helped me back up after I was left devastated by the news that no charges would be pressed. There was insufficient evidence of assault and criminal damage, despite there being plenty of evidence of my ex being controlling, abusive and possessive. I am still here, but many women aren't. None of us deserve the injustice, of being invisible and let down by a system that won't stand up for us, yet somehow expects us to stand up for ourselves. That is the very nature of domestic violence, and it is the travesty of a system and a society that still allows abuse to stay hidden behind closed doors.